Hi, Jesse. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day to you as well.
Well, Martina, thank you so much for being here today. I know you have a crazy schedule, so I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. And for anyone on Martina's end that is joining for the first time and has never seen Women Who Do before, I'm Jessie Rubenstein, and this series was started to really uphold my grandmother Anne Klein's legacy. She was all about celebrating strength and empowerment, especially for women. So I'm really, I feel a lot of gratitude to be able to kind of continue the message, especially in these times that feel difficult and a little uncertain. So thank you guys for joining, and I can't wait to ask you a million questions today, Martina.
Well, Jesse, thank you for having me. And I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties. So I literally am going to just stand here and not move so we don't get disconnected again. But really, thank you for the opportunity and to share space with you and other women and talk a little bit about what we do here at Dr. Hauschka.
Yeah. So I would love to get started by just first hearing a little bit more about, why Earth Day is a huge day for Dr. Hauschka, what you guys are really doing to support, Mother Nature and create, a more sustainable and healthy product.
So first and foremost, Earth Day is every day at Dr. Hauschka, and we love to say that because in the heart of what we do and who we are, we're farmers. We work with our hands every day. We have farms in Germany and we have farming projects across the globe. And our culture and our mission is really grounded in a culture of care. So our mission statement is a culture of care for humanity, care for the earth, and care for the future. And those three things really intersect. There's not one without the other when you're thinking about humans and the earth and our impact and how that ultimately impacts the future. And so often people feel that, being sustainable or being environmentally responsibility is such a huge task. Mm-hmm. And it really isn't. It's something that everybody can impact every single day. And one of the things we focus on at Dr. Hauschka is not just sourcing sustainable and biodynamic ingredients. We really think about what's happening on the day-to-day and are we managing our food waste as individuals in the company? And what a lot of people don't realize is food waste contributes to 8% of global emissions. And so if you really think about it as a consumer, if you really start to think about what you're consuming, you can really have direct impact on the global stage. And I think when you try to give people small nuggets and small steps of how they impact, I think their ability to impact becomes amazing and huge, and it's every day. And those micro steps become the macro piece. Mm-hmm. So at Dr. Hauschka, we biodynamic farm, which really means that we care for the earth. It's a different type of farming. And it's about replenishing the earth. So we never exhaust the earth to the point that she can't function for us anymore. So whatever we put into the earth and take out of the earth, there's a symbiotic relationship and there's a rhythm to that. And it's a different type of farming. Other types of farming are about extraction and taking, and we're more about replenishment. And when we source ingredients off of our farm in Germany, we look for partners that can do sustainable farming. And if they can't, we help teach them, and we provide opportunities for learning to understand how to do sustainable farming, how to do foraging, how to do biodynamic farming. And in many instances, we create programs for microloans for people to learn how to do more sustainable farming practices.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's a little bit of what we do here.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think sustainability, I was talking to everyone on right before you jumped on. It's like I've been trying to make small changes in my life, starting to compost and doing research on there's all these things you think you can recycle, but you really can't. So I think that this is a great opportunity. Like you said, every day should be Earth Day. But are there any small changes you would recommend that someone can make in their life that makes a major impact?
Absolutely. So take an inventory in your kitchen right now. Go to, we love big refrigerators in the United States.
Oh yeah.
And food waste is a huge driver of emissions. And if you really think about what you consume and then you really start to plan a little differently in your kitchen, you can minimize your food waste. Plastic bottles are, people are talking about them all the time and they're recyclable, but 80% of plastics are not really effectively recycled. So if you could just make that switch to a regular coffee cup or to a water bottle that can be reused, that in an aggregate makes a significant difference. So it really is about informing yourself in your kitchen, looking at what you're consuming to minimize your waste, and then doing a few small things like eliminating water bottles, eliminating plastic bags at the grocery store. You know, many people, you go by the grocery store and you see them flying in the parking lot and they think, well, that's not that big of a deal. But in an aggregate, it's impacting our environment at an accelerated rate. And if you just switch to a reusable bag, you're part of the bigger picture impact. So it's a lot easier, I think, than people think it is, because the conversation is so big and it's so heavy. But I think there are very consistent small steps you can take at home, and it really starts in your kitchen.
100%. I mean, I'm definitely a culprit of some of those things. I love to overbuy veggies, and I think those are easy ways we can all just make a small change. One thing I have been doing is right before my veggies and fruit goes bad, I throw everything in a blender. So you might not want to like cook it or eat it, but blended up, you really can't tell the difference.
That's amazing. Everybody needs a good health shake every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And I read an article recently, and I've tried it. I haven't mastered it, but there is this idea that fruits and vegetables can last a significantly longer time in glass. So mason jars, a lot of people will cut fruit or vegetables and put them in mason jars, and you have a difference of at least 7 to 10 days in glass versus plastic. So if you're trying to make your groceries last longer, or you like the freshness, there's a way to get that fresh appeal, if you will, without plastic.
100%. Yeah, and just ways to, refrigerating keeps it fresh longer, to make sure that we're not wasting anything. Well, has working at Dr. Hauschka, have you adopted a lot of new practices into your everyday life that are kind of how has your experience there also changed what you're bringing home?
Oh, absolutely. So I think one of the most incredible experiences I've had at Dr. Hauschka is part of an annual meeting. I spent a lot of time in Germany pre-COVID. I spent quite a bit of time in Germany in our global office, but we spend time on the farm working together as a team and really understanding cause and effect of how we farm, how we plant. So I am a big consumer of water and I love my water bottles. That is one of the disciplines that I try every single day. Instead of buying a water bottle, do I refill my clean canteen? And coffee is the biggest challenge because now you can't use your refillable coffee container at Starbucks until we're past COVID. But that is another discipline that I've had. No more coffee cups on the go or inside. If I don't have a refillable, then I just don't get it. So I think those small things, because you don't realize how big they are. My water consumption, because we really manage water in our global office and in our home office here in the USA. We manage water consumption very carefully. And that is something that has been a huge difference in my life, just in my home as well as in our corporate office. Food management and water management are two big things that individuals can take on very easily to make greater impact.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that we can all kind of do in our everyday life, take that message home. So Martina, one question, Women Who Do is all about celebrating these incredible careers and narratives that all these women we're bringing on have built. So I do really want to get to hearing more about your incredible career. You really worked your way up to being CEO. So can you share a little bit more about that experience and just tell us about, how you really moved up in the industry?
Sure. Well, thank you. So I literally started behind the counter. Some people think that that is not true. It is true. In Milford Filene's, that store is now a Macy's, and it is still there. I started behind the counter at a time I graduated college, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and I just found a home. And I spent almost 10 years at Chanel, part of it behind the counter, part of it in the field, part of it in events, part of it in makeup artistry. I've done a little bit of everything. And it has taught me such incredible discipline and appreciation. But the most important thing I think it's taught me is I'm humble. And it's taught me humility every step of the way, because it is not easy to get out from behind the counter if that's what your desire is. And I really saw an opportunity to keep growing and keep developing, but not losing sight of that consumer. So much of what I do today at this level, I refer back often to my time behind the counter because I was so connected to the consumer. At the end of the day, if we don't have the frontline team members, there is no business. We're not selling, we're not transacting if we're having an in-person engagement. So that time has been incredibly valuable. And along the way, I had some people who championed me and gave me incredible opportunities to keep growing, and mentoring me and allowing me the space to really grow. So it was kind of fine tuning each step of the way, from sales, from education, from product development. So I've had the opportunity to spend time in almost every discipline of the industry over the last 25 years.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, yeah, I started working in retail at 14, and it has taught me so much about customer service, working with other people, being flexible. I think everyone should have that experience in the beginning of their career, because there's really, like, it's incomparable to anything else.
I think at the end of the day, it really keeps you honest. It really keeps you honest about the work that you're doing, because when you're in front of a consumer and you are the face of the brand, it is probably the most rewarding experience that I've ever had. And it's probably the most valuable experience that I've ever had. You learn different things at different places, but the fact that I still remember, like yesterday, the events that we did and the consumers that we met, it really is an exciting thing when I think about how I've moved over the last 25 years. And I think what inspires me about that is the fact that I am creating space and holding space for other Latinx women. As a Mexican American woman, not only did I come from behind the counter, I was up against a lot of other challenges that some people don't face in their career. So the fact that I'm here and I'm committed to other women, and other women of all walks of life and shapes and colors and creeds, I think it's something that really drives me every day. And I'm not sure that I would have the same lens if I didn't come from the counter, and the same appreciation.
100%. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit offline, but as a business owner with a completely female team, that really resonates. And I know you were telling me a little bit more about having your senior management be primarily women. That's just such an incredible standard for businesses today.
So, and I think it's culturally, when we talk about 70% of the company is comprised of women, but 70% of the management team is comprised of women. I think it's because we've created a culture where women feel there's a space for them here. And if I can't facilitate leadership in our organization because maybe there's just not an opportunity, I hope that everything we do on a daily basis prepares somebody for leadership roles in other organizations.
100%. That's so important. And I think that it's a nice tie into, really the ethos, doing well by doing good. So can you share a little bit more about what that means?
Sure. That is part of our whole culture of care, and the idea that I have the great privilege to run a company that we are not dictated by the single dimension of profit. So every single day I put people first over profit. And that's a gift that everybody doesn't have. And when we think about all of our global growing projects where we're creating self-reliant, sustainable economic communities for people, we really thought about how do we translate that in the United States? And for many years, this idea of food insecurity has been growing at an accelerated rate. And in many communities, there are communities that are identified as food deserts. And you think, this is America, how is that possible? But food deserts by the USDA are communities that do not have grocery stores, and there are many of them in the United States. They may have a convenience store or a gas station, but they're really not able to have access to really feed their families well. So we created the Giving Garden, and we took the idea of what we do globally and we made it local. And the idea of doing good while doing well, we can still be profitable. We can still move our business forward, but we can still think about the communities that we live in and how do we contribute in a way that is meaningful and is meeting needs that are present every single day. So the Giving Garden is our loyalty program. So anybody can join, and every purchase you make through our loyalty program, we donate meals across the country. We have partners in Northern California, Southern California. The Food Bank of Western Mass is one of our biggest partners here on the East Coast. And what they do is they've made a commitment with us that all of the money that we donate goes directly to accessing fresh fruits and vegetables to help bridge the food insecurity gap in the US. And we're doubling down now because it was a labor of love. But when COVID hit, the number of families in crisis has just accelerated at a rate that I don't think anybody really understood was going to happen. So we are committed to continuing to feed our neighbors, and we are committed to giving our consumers a way to participate.
That's incredible. Are you guys doing any kind of celebration around that for Earth Day today?
So we are celebrating. We've had a couple of celebrations because we celebrate every day. Recently, one of our largest partners, Pharmaca, they worked with us to run a promotion, and they've donated a significant amount, and they've donated over $5,000 to meals in a very short window of time so we can continue our work. So every day we're looking for ways to celebrate, and we are offering opportunities today because it is Earth Day. We have a wonderful gift. If you come to our e-commerce site and make a purchase, we are matching meal donations today for Earth Day. So, and if anybody on here would like to join us in that venture, really importantly, the need is growing. It's not getting any easier. And we are so excited that we can offer an avenue that's really fun and really fantastic, but it's also a way to give back in a really honest, authentic way. So Earth Day today on our website, we're going to double the meals for anybody that makes a purchase.
That's amazing. I'll make sure that after this, we let all of the community know and drive them to make sure that they're supporting Earth Day. Of course.
Thank you.
Before I hop into my next question, guys, if you have any questions for Martina, make sure that you're dropping them in the question box or the comment box. I'll see them both. So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about kind of like what inspires you. We always come back to this question: what propels you to keep going every day? Whether that's a person or art or culture, kind of what's that thing that really gets your fire going?
So I think there's a couple of things. What inspires me, I think, is being here. The fact that I'm here and the journey that I've taken, and that I have the opportunity to help other women is really powerful to me. And it inspires me every day because I think about, what else do I need to do today? What else do I need to move the needle on so I can create more space for other women, and particularly Latinx women? You know, when you look at the industry that I'm in, there's not a lot of women that look like me yet. I say yet because there are so many emerging voices out there. And if I can give people a platform or a space to learn and to grow, that is really inspiring to me. And also, too, I find inspiration in words and books. Brene Brown is a friend in my head. I don't know her, but Her words are really powerful, and she speaks often about being vulnerable and having courage. And as a woman leader, it's not always easy to be vulnerable. It's hard to be vulnerable and to be courageous and make the right decisions every single day. And sometimes making the right decisions is not always easy. But she inspires me, and I often gift her books. And then I look at some of the women that I work with. They're all incredible. And so many of them are mothers, wives, partners, sisters, daughters. And what they are accomplishing in the course of a day is really inspiring, and it's really powerful. And I think that when young women come to our company as interns, I hope that they get a little taste of what building a culture can look like and what a business can look like outside of the norm, outside of we are highly structured. Everybody has a role. Everybody does one thing. We all do everything here. So we are salespeople, marketers. We are office cleaners. We are, you name it, we do it. And I think that there's a sense of community that fuels that. And our sense of community at Dr. Hauschka inspires me every day, because the people often say, how high is high? And there is never a moment or a pause when we are challenged that the team isn't able to just lean in, and lean in not just for themselves, but lean in for their colleagues and for the bigger mission. And that inspires me every day.
Amazing. Well, you need to have that pillar that continuously propels you. And it's always so fascinating to me, just for every episode that we jump on, to kind of see what is your North Star? What is the thing that gets you up in the morning? And it's critical to have that, to be able to have success, no matter what success means to you. So we have some fun questions, Martina, and some that I actually was wondering about as well. So Kathleen is asking, what are like the 3 recommendations that you have for just having cleaner, brighter, healthier skin?
Drink tons of water, and that is not a Dr. Hauschka product. So water, water, water. I have 3 product things, and then I have 3 personal things. It's water. It is sleep. Sleep is your best medicine, and a little meditation and clearing your mind. But if you were looking for product recommendations, our toner is incredible. It is light, it is fresh, it is airy. You can use it over makeup, you can use it under makeup. And our Rose Day Cream is our #1 selling SKU across the globe. It's our iconic SKU, and Rose in its form is a great hydrator. So if you're looking for product recommendation, that is what I would say. But if you're looking for great skin recommendations that really come from health and wellness, it is water and sleep.
Okay, great. Oh, I'm good on the sleep. The water, I really need to work on. I need to buy one of those water bottles that tells you like where you're at.
Yes.
I haven't gotten around to it, but I need to.
It's a hard one.
One of those.
That's a tough one. Water is a tough one for a lot of people.
Yeah, like just coffee count?
No, coffee doesn't count.
Okay, next question from, let's see, there's a lot of good ones in here. Okay, Busy asks, what are a few ways that you stay mindful?
I think it's highly personal, but I stay mindful because I Peloton every day. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but I think I'm in a space where I'm just so centered and my mind is released, and I'm not filled with ideas and projects, and I'm really able to just be present. And being present allows me to be mindful. So for me, it's physical activity. And what we like to say here at Dr. Hauschka is permission to pause, to give yourself pause no matter what it is, whether it's a big decision or it's a big meeting, and it allows you to be mindful. And in those moments when you pause, there's a little bit of clarity. And I think clarity goes hand in hand with mindfulness. So it is pausing, and we often pause at Dr. Hauschka. We don't make any big decisions until we sleep on it. We like to say it's a joke. But we pause a lot here because we want to make sure that we are making decisions that make us fit for the future and allow us to continue to do what we do today.
I love that. I mean, it's so easy to just like rush and dive into a quick decision, but I think it's a much harder move to let something sit and resonate. And it's so true. Oftentimes, if we have some sleep, whether it's a difficult decision or one that might come with some challenges, I feel like the answers just come if you maybe like sit, maybe meditate on it, come back to it the next day, instead of just like in this culture where we rush to get everything out.
Yeah, and we're a culture of convenience, and sometimes inconvenience is worth the pause, because convenience often gets you to a quick decision, but being inconvenienced is okay sometimes.
Definitely. And I think it's also getting in the position of having other people understanding, like, you're being mindful and taking your time and coming to a decision versus just trying to like get something out there into the universe.
Yes. That's hard for a lot of people to understand because we're expected to run at the speed of light every single day. But we pause here at Dr. Hauschka. We embrace it and we encourage it.
Well, I think that's a great way to pause on. I think today we should all take some time, especially because it's Earth Day and there's so much going on in the world, to just pause for a minute, think about everything we've been through this year and how we can do better by ourselves and by our planet.
Yeah. Thank you, Jess. Thank you so much. Really great to talk with you. Bye. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.